Welcome to the University of Rivengard, where we're teaching you the ins and outs of Snow Prince Rivengard so that you can have the best possible start to your Rivengard play experience. We is me, and as always, I am Erroneous. So tonight I have the opportunity, the privilege of introducing you to a brand new hero. The first hero that's been released from the Sacred Grove faction here in Rivengard. If you watched my faction class color video that was released recently, it would have shown you a map, and the map is lovely. The map's wonderful. It's downloadable from Snowprint's website, and I showed you on that map where all the different factions are from, and Sacred Grove coming from the plateau off on the east, or if you're looking at this in the other direction, the east. Anyway, I encourage you to check that out if you want to see kind of the geography of Rivengard. That's not what today's about. Today is about Silverroot. Silverroot, oh, look at this guy. He is noble and powerful and mighty. He's got this beard that I can only just, like, dream of having that fullness and the locks, the antler. How could you not be impressed with this guy? Wow. Well, I guess I can kind of tell you how you could not be impressed with this guy, because if I am completely honest, it's a little bit questionable whether you're going to find yourselves really excited. There's some good things, there's some bad things, there's some cool things, there's some kind of, who knows? It's hard to judge the first hero of a faction because you don't know how he's going to interact with everything else that's going to be released over the next couple of months. So I can give you a preview here. I'm going to go over his basics, his stats, his abilities, and how that all plays out. I'll show you a few preview videos and one really cool Bird Apocalypse instant replay. You excited about that? Let's get into it. This is Silverroot. This is the hero screen. This is Silverroot at rare level 26. Now, if you have done these events before, you know rare is completely doable. In terms of free to play, you get in, you use the cheat sheet, you do your work. You don't even have to be like maximizing every single point every single day. You can get to rare with the last chest. If you want to get to epic, you're going to need to invest in one of the packs, and you're going to need to manage your time and your resources really well. It's, once again, very doable, but not free to play. So I'm going to show them to you in rare because anybody that's willing to put in the effort can get there. This is, as we said, Silverroot. Silverroot is a warrior, and he is mounted. Those are two things that you have seen before, right? This is nothing new to have a mounted warrior. I think just about every faction has one. And mounted means that he can skip over things like thorns. And not elemental stuff, but that normal stuff like broken ice that would normally stop someone, he's going to plow right through, and he's going to plow through movement rate of 4. Once again, fairly normal. There are some mounted warriors that get, maybe 1 less than that, but 4 movements for a mounted character is pretty normal. He is also a melee hitter, so his attack is not ranged. He gets 4 moves to get there and hit with that giant crystal club of his. When I first saw him, I thought, that guy looks like a mage, because that's what you'd expect with a giant crystal staff or whatever. But no, he doesn't shoot zappy things out of it. He hits people with it, which I can respect. The thing is, compared to other warriors that have been released, other mounted warriors especially, at the same levels, his health and armor are kind of low. He's not tanky, but his damage is high. He actually walks the line in terms of the stats that you'd expect to see between a warrior and a mage, at least as far as his base stats go. One of the really unique things that you're seeing here, though, is that he has magical damage and physical armor. Why is that significant, you ask? Well, magical damage means that when he's dealing with other warriors who would usually have physical armor, he's going to blow through and bypass any physical armor with his big damage. So he's actually going to be really well equipped to deal with other warriors, especially because he has physical armor rather than magical armor, which is what you would find in most things that have magical damage. It's going to be really interesting to see, how he plays out. The other trait that we need to talk about is the trait that is going to be common to all of the Sacred Grove heroes, and that is Bushkin. The Bushkin trait is going to be kind of the defining factor of this faction. And what Bushkin does is it actually gives, anytime he's in shrubs, anytime any of these guys are in the shrubs, it's going to give them a 20% bonus to their attack damage. That is not their ability damage, but their basic physical, or magical attack damage. When he hits them with the big thing, and they're next to the bush and he's in the bush, he gets more damage. That's pretty awesome considering the advantage that the bush already gives him, the 50% damage reduction. But once again, the thing to remember is this only affects normal hits. It's not going to affect his ability damage, his master of crows thing, his murder of crows thing. That's what it's called. I call it the birdpocalypse because how can you not call this the birdpocalypse? Of course this is a birdpocalypse. Now, what happens is when he fires off his active, he lets loose or summons or, he calls in an airstrike. And 3+X burbs, crows, whatever, they're burbs, come flying in and drop some explosive crap or something. They hit. And they hit pretty hard. They hit for physical damage. And they hit physical armor first. And this is a weird thing to try and get your head around. Now, normally what happens when you hit armor is that the armor absorbs half of whatever the damage is and half gets through. For these crows, they attack all armor until all the armor is gone and then carry on through. So they strip the armor from the target. Now, whether that winds up being good or bad, who knows? If they hit someone with magical armor, it ignores the armor anyway. They're going to prioritize summons just like normal, and they're going to smack down reasonably hard. And they'll hit harder too. See, his passive ability as the Burb Whisperer is an increase in crows. Like going from second degree murder of crows to first degree murder of crows, or something like that. Basically, for every round that ends, one more crow gets added to the murder coming in. Beyond that, for each death that's happened, each enemy that has been vanquished, whether that be summon or hero, this does not affect objects, but summon or hero, each of those burbs gets extra damage. So if you've got 5 burbs coming in and each of those burbs gets an extra whatever, like 50 damage, 200 damage, then you get a lot more damage. You get what I'm coming from here, right? You smell what the University of Rivengard is cooking? Blackbirds baked in a pie? Too much? Not enough? I don't know. I don't know what to say beyond that. That's a solid description of the skills. This is what we have to look forward to. A 3+X birdpocalypse for damage plus Y damage. Basically, the longer you wait and the more enemies you kill, the bigger nuke this is. And you can see that having some important impact in possibly your dragon battles, possibly if you manage to keep them alive in Onslaught long enough. Tell you what, let me show you a couple videos and we'll see what happens. We got a 1v1 versus Bowman here. And we can see that our hero is jumping back and forth. He got pulled into the thorns. waited to drop that bird bomb that just wiped Bowman in one hit. This is Silverroot versus Dragon. We're seeing the Murder of Crows and Verb Whisperer past ability. And just come in, so you can see some significant. Yeah, as we're firing another one. A few more. Ooh. So that was a lot more damage. So you can see the difference between waiting a couple turns as far as things go that way. Now, let's see how this plays out in a PvP battle. I've got an instant replay on here. I'm very proud of it. I think you'll like it. But we'll take a really good look at how the battle plays out and what happens as these birds come through. Cat, close that off. Now, Silverroot has just run down, flung out in the corner. Right, so we've got our first turn done. They're doing their enemy turn. Nimrel runs up, does his. Look at those coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just coming in. Slam. Wiping out basically the entire enemy. Silverroot comes in, gets the last hit because of course he does. Why wouldn't he? Right? So that's, I think, a fairly good introduction, a good summation of what we can expect for Silverroot. How he plays with the rest of the Sacred Grove faction is still a big mystery, but as his festival goes on, I think that we're gonna find that while he may not be an S-tier optimal unit, he'll still be fun to play with, and I can almost guarantee you Soul Warrior is gonna find a way to make him awesome. Anyway, for now, I just want to say thanks for watching. Glad that you've joined us here at the University of Rivengard, and please, if you haven't already put in a referral code, consider ours. It's a way to, do a little alumni support fundraising drive. We'll see you in Rivengard.